What's up, everyone? There was a fellow that contacted me by the name of Seth. We won't use his last name. He had some questions about grading logs. He says, you know, I've been sending some logs to a place, and he says, I feel like I'm not getting a fair shake. So my reply to that was, you know, I don't know any logger that feels like they're getting treated fairly on a grading scale. But I'm going to go through real quick and give you my opinion on grading logs. And, you know, I have a couple laying over here that we'll do for examples. And then I'll give you some advice after that. Wow, the fuel tank's hot. These are some crazy white oak real quick. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet. But they got this. You see these? They're like little shoots coming out. It almost looks like bird peck or something. If it's through the whole log, I mean, it won't make stave. It's a shame because they're clean, but that's neither here nor there. So, obviously, let's look back here. We'll start with a lower end log. I'm not going to go to a number 3 because it's number 3 is just blocking anymore. I mean, it's really not worth sending. Anyways, so let's start with a number 2. This is just a regular black oak or scarlet oak, pin oak, whatever you want to call it. As you can see, it's got a double heart up here, and I just couldn't get any more out of it. That's an 8-foot log. It's clean. There's no marks, no cat face. Great log. Lots of usable lumber is going to come out of this, but they are going to grade this, in my opinion. I emphasize everything in this video is in my opinion, because everybody grades logs differently. In my opinion, that would be a number 2. And the reason being is you're going to get clear face cuttings off of that side and off of this side. But this side, you're going to have that crotch, and same on the one below it. This log here, another red oak. I'm going to call this a number 2. And the reason I'd call it a number 2 is because we have a clean face here. There's a clean face on the bottom because that's how I laid them, so I didn't have to roll them around. And then you see we have cat face. And cat face is basically where the tree has grown over where there once was a limb. And you'll get that, they call it a cat face. They say it looks like a cat face. I don't really get it, but whatever. So, yeah, that's that there. That is I would call that a number 2. On a good day, if they're hungry for logs, they might call that, you know, 3 clean sides. Number 1, I don't know. This log here, this is a number 1. I would call it easily. It's got 4 clean sides. It's not nice enough to make premier, but I would call it a number 1. That log should grade out pretty nice. So, you know, I have a little knot in there, but that knot will come out in the trim, because as you can see, that knot doesn't extend all the way out to the outside. You see that? So that should be a number 1. Should be. This here is a veneer log. What I think should be a veneer log. It definitely, because it's white oak, if it's not veneer, it'll be stave. So typically anything that doesn't veneer will then become a prime log. So say we have red oaks or something over here that are really clean and just got a little too much mineral in them, or they don't like how they look or whatever, and they get kicked as a veneer log. So then it would become a premier. That's pretty much the only way you get a premier log. Or prime, I guess, not premier. I'm calling it premier, but I mean prime. But this here would be a veneer. And veneer, if what you're looking at is nice even growth rings, centered heart, obviously clean of defect, no sweep, no rot, no mineral. And once again, that's at the discretion of the log buyer. I mean, you catch them on a good day, they grade your stuff like you love it. You catch them on a bad day, you get the hose. The best piece of advice I can give you is do your footage. Figure your footage on your trucks, because it's hard to argue footage. You know what I mean? We can argue a grade. Me and a log grader can sit there and bicker over what that log's going to be or that one or that one for hours, and we'll get nowhere. But when it comes to grade, you can get it pretty close. Now obviously they're going to have a little different deduction system from mill to mill to mill, but you can, you know, if typically we're putting 4,000 is what I shoot for. We've gone upwards of 5,400 on accident, and I've gone, you know, but 4,000 to 4,400 is a good load, very good load. It keeps you legal in Pennsylvania and all that. But you know, if you scale the logs, you know, especially if you get in a big job like this where you have bigger trees, it's a lot easier to do it, to scale 20 logs on a truck as opposed to 60 logs if you have smaller grade. You scale that load out at 4,100 feet, okay, and you're coming back on your tally sheets on the ticket at like 3,100 feet. You could say, hey, something's wrong here. You know what I mean? You can start questioning it, and then you can go, if you know, you get unhappy, you can shop around or whatever. I routinely check the loads. I'll scale a load and I'll load it on the truck, and then I'll take that ticket number and I hold it as a reference, and when the footages come back, I check it, cross-reference it, and we have beef. I call and say, hey, we got beef. If not, I don't, you know, whatever. Things are going good, don't say nothing. So, and if you're going to sell logs, like say you have them cut and you're going to pile it out on a landing, and you're having multiple buyers come out, okay, and you sit down and figure the footage of what you got laid out, okay, say you have 30, 40, 50,000 feet laid out. Figure out your footage, okay, and then when the buyers come, figure the average out for that pile of logs. You know, this buyer's going to come out and he'll give you 20,000 for those logs. This buyer will come out, he'll give you 18. This buyer comes out, you know, give you this or that. And obviously you want to go with the biggest bid, but check your averages. You know, figure out what you think that should pay roughly. Find an average, and whoever's obviously closest to that, it's going to be your highest bid. That's what you want to go for, and then you can go from there. It's no sense in bickering over a log, because one buyer's going to say that's no good, that's blocking. Next one's going to say it's a number 2. The guy on the end's going to say that ain't veneer, that's just a number 1. The next guy's going to say, oh no, that's veneer. So like I said, sometimes it's not worth bickering over any single log. When you get your averages back, your average price per board foot, you know, that should be the better. And if you're if you're working off of a tonnage scale too, then I mean there's no way to be cheated, because you're certified scales and you just paid X amount of dollars per ton. But I hope that helps, and if anybody has any other advice for this young fella or fella, I don't know if he's young or not, for this fella, put it in the comment section below, huh? I'm always open to anything, you know what I mean? You'll learn something new every day. So, but all right, everyone, I'm gonna boogie off here. Hopefully that helps you, buddy. And yeah, that's all I got for today. It's getting hot. At least it's dry.